that's why Terry Prentice, who helps down at Flagship, he's the Senior Associate Athletics Director for Athlete Brand Development and Inclusive Excellence. Terry, that is a mouthful, man. We gotta
How do you get that on a business card?
We got to shorten that up, dude.
No, appreciate you having me on, guys. My business card just says Senior Associate Athletic Director, so we just keep it short and sweet.
Perfect. Make it short and sweet. So I think a lot of Arkansas fans have been pleased with the success of Flagship to this point. I know that you guys are up for one of the NIL awards along with like 5 other institutions. I think it's Auburn, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, and maybe 2 other schools. Kind of, Terry, take us through the process. Who would you consider the main architect of Flagship and this program that seems to be pretty successful for Arkansas to this point?
Oh, man. I would probably say it's been a team effort, but probably predated me even coming back to Arkansas and rejoining the team in Fayetteville. So I'd give credit to Hunter, first and foremost. A lot of credit to Matt McCoy, who serves as our general counsel and attorney for the athletic department, really helped craft that state law with our state legislature. John Fagg, who's our deputy AD, Will Landers in compliance, Jerry Thorpe in licensing. It was really a team effort. And then obviously the folks over on the Hill at the Walton College and Office of Entrepreneurship. So the team effort to get Flagship off the ground and running and day-to-day really working with those individuals, and then my team of Sydney McGlone and Lauren Hawkins as well. So, yeah, it's definitely been a team effort.
Terry, when you think about NIL and kind of layman's terms, kind of break it down as easy as possible for our listeners, how does that process work with student athletes at Arkansas and businesses here in and outside the state?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, but we feel like we're continuing to get the message out. And the way it works, a student athlete will come to us and say, hey, a business or a brand reached out to me and they want me to do an NIL deal. I have no idea what any of that means, and neither do they. So can you help us come to terms or help us understand what that actually means? And what we try to make clear to both the athlete and the business or the brand is that you can now pay the student athlete or compensate them in any way, shape, or form you see fit for doing something in exchange. So they can sign their name or give their name over to you, their image or their likeness, meaning they can sign autographs. They can do 1 social media post, 2 social media posts, show up at your restaurant, speak to your executive board, come and, speak to your CEOs and chief operating officers or anyone else. They can go to a youth camp. They can speak to kids. They can go perform some community service and be paid for it. It's really just about anything that you could think of that an athlete would do to make some money as a celebrity now. So we educate businesses all the time. I mean, the best piece of advice I can give anyone around the state is just reach out to us, contact me, contact our office, and I'll explain how to do this, because we want everybody to be able to do it the right way and want everybody to participate so that our student athletes can, earn a little income at the end of the day.
Terry, now that you got months under your belt with this program and a football season and a basketball season, what has went right with NIL to this point, and what might need some tweaks or adjustments moving forward?
Oh, I'll tell you what went right. I love seeing people wearing merchandise all season. So I'll pick on Jalen and JD and Stanley and Chris Likes, Devo. I mean, those guys did it the right way, and to be able to see us make that run through March Madness and then continue to have some sales. I was out in San Francisco, and I'm in the hotel lobby, and I'm seeing people wear the Jalen Williams dunk shirt or the JD for 3 shirt. So that's definitely gone well and gone right and been fun. Seeing Bumper be able to take full advantage of his NIL and, develop some relationships with some really prominent businessmen and women around Arkansas. That's been awesome to see him negotiate some NIL deals that help play a factor in him returning, as well as, what Coach Pittman's building here from a football standpoint. Another thing that's been awesome to see, and a few of our teams pretty soon will be announcing some team-wide NIL deals, which are really cool, and those span both male teams and female teams. So those are things that I think have gone right and gone well. The biggest thing I think we need to continue to improve is helping businesses understand what a student athlete can or can't do, but also helping a brand and a student athlete understand time commitments and, what accepting an NIL opportunity actually means from a practice, a class, a tutoring standpoint, their social life, and where NIL fits into to the agreement. Are they having to drive down to Little Rock or Fort Smith to go do this? Are they here in Fayetteville? They have to go up to Bentonville? Are they going out of state to their hometown? Just finding a balance in time management. I mean, I think that's been the big thing, and helping the businesses understand that as well.
You said, what they can and can't do. I think a lot of people have figured out, and based on what you've said and just watching what they can do, what are some of the things that are out of bounds or are off the table in NIL? Because I think there is the perception it's the Wild West and anything goes now, and that's just not factually accurate.
Yeah, I'd say number one, obviously offering something to a prospect or recruit during that process. So that's still something that you can't do. I know you see a lot of reports out there in the media and around the country of certain recruits already signing deals before they come into to university, before they commit or sign a letter of intent with the university. So that's still off limits and can't be done. But another one being, alcohol, tobacco, firearm dealers, those types of things are still against state law, and for the most of the country remain pretty consistent around the landscape. Could change in time, but as it stands today, student athletes can't work with any companies that fall into those categories. Those are really the two hard and fast things.
We're talking with Terry Prentice, Senior Associate Athletic Director, this morning here on the Morning Rush, talking a little flagship and what Arkansas is doing with its NIL program. Terry, another thing, you were talking about the T-shirts, the jersey stuff that you guys have partnered with. Is it Brander Group? And am I saying that right?
You are, yeah,
okay.
Brander Group.
So I know that a lot of Arkansas fans, I grew up with a Darren McFadden jersey, didn't have McFadden on the back, but everyone knew what number 5 was for assuming Jalen comes back and maybe some other guys, Bumper, KJ, Jalen, some of the baseball guys. How cool is it going to be for them to see young kids wear their jerseys in football, basketball, and baseball stadiums this upcoming year?
Oh, I think it's going to be awesome. I wish I could go back in time and be able to attend a Razorback game or come see my family in state and have the chance to do the exact same thing. We actually have slowly been rolling some things out. So if you head over to Bogle Park in softball or Baum Walker in baseball, you'll see Mary Half with some items there in the store. You'll see Bob Moore with some items there, and a few other student athletes will start to flood in and into that hog heaven area because they're starting to purchase some product and see some value in carrying those items there inside the stadium. So I think it's awesome. I'm happy for our student athletes. I think it's going to be a new revenue stream for them, and really what we like to call passive income for them, where they don't have to do much outside of sign their name over and say, yeah, I approve the design of that T-shirt, or yeah, I'm going to sign my name over so that jersey can be sold.
Terry, when you look at where you are now, and you've worked with the Razorback Foundation, I'm gonna forgive you for working at Ole Miss at one point in time. I had to do some stuff with Vanderbilt baseball, so you can forgive me for that too. But what does it mean to you to come back to an institution where you had a major part in athletics and just getting an opportunity to help other student athletes, not just in the track and field program, but statewide and really specifically the whole Arkansas athletics department?
Oh, it's been awesome, man. It's an honor. Love this university. It's given me a ton. Obviously, I have degrees from here, but we're able to win some championships and, meet some of my best friends here and obviously get to work with coaches that I've known for a long time. But I'd say the best part of the job and the honor has been seeing a few of our student athletes start to have that aha moment. I'll pick on Traylon Burks, just telling a quick story, being able to see him understand that he has a brand when it comes to him playing well on the football field, but also just being a kid that likes to hunt and fish from Warren, Arkansas, and seeing him mature and start to use some NIL opportunities, but see that branch into hopefully where he's going to be picked up in the draft, and his professional career has been awesome to see. And the same goes for, Amber Ramirez and women's basketball and just a ton of other student athletes. So, yeah, it's been an honor and just a joy to be able to work with our young people and just watch them grow and help them help them as we enter into this wild, crazy era of college athletics.
Terry, is there any sense, one of the conversations when this first rolled out was now it creates competition between the athletes and the university's fundraising arms on campus. Any feel for how that's going? That, there's only so many dollars to go around, but is there any feel for, is there, competition for the same dollars between, say, the foundation and the athletes now, where someone that normally would have given that money to the foundation to spread around the athletic department's now giving it directly to the athlete? Has that been an issue to this point?
I wouldn't say it's been an issue, but it's certainly something that we have to watch closely and monitor closely. Through year one, I think the Razorback Foundation is going to be able to announce some pretty impressive numbers from a fundraising standpoint in terms of the annual fund and then major gift work towards the Hunt facility and all these other projects that we've been able to raise some money for. So thus far, it hadn't hurt us yet. We're just fortunate that we've got Razorback fans behind us, and honestly, kind of why we decided to name the program Flagship. That we're the flagship university in the state of Arkansas. I think it definitely lends some advantages versus some of our peers and competitors in some other places.
All right, last one. We'll get you out on this. How active are the various coaching staffs with your department and maybe helping recruit those businesses to work with the athletes that are on their current roster? How active is the coaching staffs or the support staffs for each sport with you and your department?
Oh, they've been a pleasure to work with. I think most of the coaches have still been trying to figure out their role in all this because they're having to deal with this in their locker rooms for the first time ever. But no, they've been incredible. As we continue to move on through the SEC tournament and March Madness, I know both of our basketball coaches were able to continue to push people in my direction because their student athletes are popular. And now the same goes for our spring sports and during football season, Coach Pittman was still trying to figure this out, but I think he's done a phenomenal job of really helping drive traffic our direction, really just going out in the community and being able to speak positive about what NIL is. So if there's anything that I could say, I'd just say they continue to push people our direction when anyone has questions or reaches out to them.
Terry, thank you so much for waking up early and joining us, and I will see you at the sports seminar on Saturday morning, man.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Great stuff from Terry Prentice, Senior Associate Athletics Director for, I'm going to say the full title, Tommy, Athlete Brand Development and Inclusive Excellence at Arkansas. And Flagship, if you want information on that, you can find it on Arkansas's website.
Is your number one source for all your betting needs, sports info, and odds. Find all the latest sports developments, including this week's odds for the Masters Championship and the start of Major League Baseball season. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started, so join today. Learn why everyone is saying BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on popular sports and games. BetOnline, where the game starts.